Okay, today we're going to have a look at the differences between our backhand and our forehand with how we address the ball and even in preparation and so on as well. So the first thing we look at is if I step across on the backhand, I'll step across this way here and then I'll swing through here. And generally what that does is when I do step across here, I'll bring this arm across and this arm will be closer to the ball. So by stepping with this foot, my arm will come closer to the ball. So it works really neatly and really well. If I go across onto the forehand side, and if I step across this way, my arm goes away from the ball. So the forehand and backhand are very different as to what happens just with your feet. So if your feet step that way, it changes what happens. The racket goes away from the ball and you've got to reach further to get the ball. Really reach over your leg and do a lot of body work to go and do that. So it's not really the best. Yet if I come over here for backhand and I step here, I'm over the top of my leg. I'm not reaching over my leg, I'm in control and I've got reasonable reach. So it works really well. So your forehand and backhand are not the same. You can't do what you do on the forehand and expect that it's just going to work on the backhand. So you don't treat the swings the same. It doesn't work like that. It's not how your body works and it's not where you get power from. Excuse me. So your backhand, it's an unwinding motion in your body. If I step across here and I step across this way, my body's primed. My body's basically ready and it's already primed simply because I've stepped back and I'm facing this way. So now I've got all this unwinding motion. Yet on the forehand, you don't tend to use your body because your backhand is an unwinding swing. So this unwinding through here, that's how your backhand generally works, and it's your big core muscles where you'll get most of your power. Now, some people like to get power by doing this and so on, but that just is, it's accurate power, but it's not brute force like big muscle, core muscle hitting. It's arm versus arm, but we'll talk about that in another video. So basically by stepping across here, you're basically already wound and primed your body, and it's already primed, off you go. So beginners tend to step across this way. And beginners are generally taught to step across this way because they get the same thing they get that side, which is the big rotational turn, and there's a certain amount of power involved in that. But it's not logical because this arm is now away from the ball. If I reach across there, I can nearly reach that line. But if I just change this here, I can easily reach that line and even further, simply because my arm's on this side of my body. So I'm in more control. The other thing that happens is your backhand being an unwind swing. Remember we said this, an unwind swing, unwind through here. Your forehand becomes more of a push swing. So it's more of a push through. So you don't tend to unwind your body as much. You do unwind your body for comfort, and you unwind to get this hip involved so you can actually hit off that point there, which is right through the center of your body almost. So rather than doing this and trying to turn around here, which is really awkward, trying to generate power, you'll actually open your stance and you'll try and step a little bit more forward and you'll bring through. So with your forehand, you will take some on front foot, but you'll take a lot more on this foot. And what that does, you get your prep by actually prepping back here before you strike and then through, and you can push through the ball more. We want to push down the line. So we want to push down the line when we hit. So backhand, when we step across here, unwind swing, and you use your big body muscles, so you don't use as much of your arm. You don't need your racket to go fast through the ball. You just need to keep it compact and strong here and get your body to do this, and then that will actually drive through the ball really quickly. So there, it will drive through the ball really quickly, really well. It will happen really neatly and it will happen really controllably, right? So basically, your backhand is not the same. It's the most important thing we're trying to get through here. Your backhand, you do not swing the same on your backhand as you swing on your forehand, okay? You'll do different things with your wrist on your backhand as you will on your forehand. With your backhand, you'll have your wrist stronger and you'll try not to flick it around so much. So what you will do that on some shots, but only on those little tricky shots and whatever else as well. But generally with your backhand, you'll set your wrist, you'll keep it really strong, and you'll go from here and you'll swing through and your wrist will be in a really strong situation and you'll finish up and it'll come through in a really strong situation. But on forehand, what happens is you can gain racket head speed just by doing that. It goes really quickly, really well, and I know you can do that on backhand, but it's not controllable on backhand. And the reason is because it's a follow swing, like an unwinding swing. So the unwinding of that means you're not in control of it. But the forehand, the pushing of that means that you're pushing it exactly. You can tell if I do that I know where the ball's going. But if I tend to do that, I don't know where it's going anywhere near as much. It's just nowhere near as controllable for the racket face when you strike. And it's because all these muscles here are all behind the ball. So this is all behind the ball, this is all behind the ball, and this comes through here, there, but all this here is now behind the ball. Here, this is in front of the ball. My whole arm is in front of the ball. My elbow is in front of the ball. All my wrist is in front of the ball, virtually. Then my hand is just dragging the racket through. So there's a major difference in what you can do and what the feel happens and so on as well. So your forehand, it's more of a push off a strong structured body and your turn for comfort. Your backhand becomes a prime your body and unwind for power, and use your racket control for putting the ball in the right spot and hitting the ball in the right spot. So you'll find it'll come together really neatly if you get it right. So go from there, your backhand, you come across, you rack it back, and you bring it through, and it finishes up really neatly from there. So backhand's not the same as forehand. Don't treat them the same as backhand and forehand. And we'll go through a few more other intricacies in other videos as well about how to prime and prep your body and the difference and so on. But that's just a quick overview on the differences between forehand and backhand. Don't turn your body too much on forehand. Turn your body a lot, but really sharp and really close. Don't turn it out here. Turn it in here, because this is control and this is power, speed. So don't get out there when you're striking. If you're going to strike out wide, I'll just give you another quick tip really quickly. If the ball's in here, get in around the center of your body here and turn inside. If the ball, and then what happens is you're going to follow through, and you'll follow through there. If the ball is out wide and it's out there, you'll stop your follow through. You'll go out there and you'll stop your follow through, because you need that balance. You can't follow through out because you'll fall over. So if it's away there, you're going to do that, and that'll give you the control that you need. In here, you'll do that and you'll have the full swing. So if the ball's in your control, full swing. If it's not in your control, stab, hit. Same forehand. In here, you're going to go less turn through, and if it's out there, you're going to stab. You're not going to follow through because you don't want that. So you don't follow through on a reaching ball. So there you go, a few differences between forehand and backhand. Just thought I'd just throw this video in there because some people think you just do the same on both sides. It doesn't work. Treat them differently and your game will start to go through the roof.